Hey guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and do another FX video because it is September, which means October is next, and I had a blast doing the first video, so I decided I was gonna do a second one, and this time I am finally filming on my iPad, so it'll be easier to deal with. I'm just gonna clip my bangs up, so pardon the weirdness. And this time I'm going to be doing a zombie. So this is the last of the stuff that I used to make fake blood up in here earlier, and it was like a one I used to make the broken skin look. So I might do that again. But first things first, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to make a really cool pale skin. So this is just average dollar store BB cream in the light color. It's in light 1, so it's really light. But it's still not as light as I would like it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and use this little bottom piece here of my homemade face powder container, and I'm going to use that as my mixing area. Also, for the last video I did, I forgot to mention that this is the kind of setting spray I usually use because, well, it's matte finish, so it's really helpful. But since I'm only doing this for the video, I don't really feel the need to do that kind of thing. Though normally I would if I wanted it to last. But since I'm just going to take it off, I usually don't bother if I'm going to take it off right away. Got my stick mixer, and I also use these gold Revlon tweezers, because they're actually kind of helpful sometimes when you're trying to get precise lines, so that'll be fun. I'm going to use this as my mixing base. So for every part of BB cream, I'm going to want about 1 part of powder. And since I'm doing my entire face, because I'm going to need to be pale, and if you're going to go out and about, I would say go down all the way to your clothing, but this is about as much as I'm going to use right now. I can always put on more. And I'm just going to smooth it out slightly, but not too much. Not a ton, because I still need to be able to leave some. And then this, I'm actually going to do my ears. And I'm not even going to fully blend it. Just enough to not have it obviously wet. Because my ears are pretty red, so. But they always look like that. So now they look like that. Okay, I just mostly did that to clean off the excess makeup, but oh well. And then I'm going to grab my lavender dusting powder again. I use this for like everything. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my little stick, and I'm going to take about that much and plop it onto here. And I'm going to mix it. Because that's going to give me pale base. You might want to put a little more foundation than you do powder, but this is all up to you how you want to do it. It's the great thing about special effects makeup. It's always to how you like it. And then I'm just going to put it on my face. Oops. And some of that fake blood got in there. But I'll fix it. So you want it to be really pale, which is why I'm not even going to fully blend this in. Because if I fully blend it in, it's going to take away some of that paleness. And you could do the same exact technique for both vampires and zombies. I mean, obviously you might need to change slightly in the decorative department, I guess, but not too terribly much. Probably just some of the extra effects. I'm also going over my lips. Make them a little lighter. Oops, getting into my hair. But again, don't blend it too much or you'll completely lose a lot of the pale. Which I know this is not normally something most people would do with their makeup, but including myself, but in the case of special effects, this is gonna have to be something I'm gonna do, even though it feels really weird to not fully blend my makeup. Also, when you're watching this, Molly, didn't mean to freak you out completely with that bruise makeup earlier. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take if I can find it. There we go. This larger powder brush. It's not huge, but it works. I'm going to set the pale. Hide some of the streaky. go back in and finesse the powder mixture. You don't have to go completely pale either, because it's not like I'm doing a ghost or something. I'm just trying to make it look like I've slightly washed myself out. So a small washed out pigment is perfectly fine. Okay, now I'm going to go into the contour. This thing got all messy, so watch out for that. If it's not fully dry, your foundation stuff, then it could do that to your brush, but it's okay. You can just clean it. So I'm going to take that same brush and do a super dark contour. Sink that face in really, really well. The more sunken in, the better. And I'm going to feel weird not putting on blush, but I'm going to go ahead and contour up my nose a little, just to kind of highlight the fact that I have a messed up nose. Mine's crooked, as you can see. It goes this way. So just kind of work the contour into a nice dead contour. And if you look super duper gaunt, it'll help. If any of you have ever seen Breaking Dawn, when Bella is extremely pregnant with Renesmee and close to giving birth to her, she looked really, really sick. It's kind of what I'm going for. Obviously, mine isn't going to be exactly like that, because that one takes even more time to do, but this is definitely sick with me. This looks like I'm sick. So now we're going to start in on the eyeshadow. And to make my eyes look like they're, sorry, that was my mom, by the way, look like they're extremely sunken in, I'm going to do like dark blues and purples. And a little bit of black. Not a ton, but a little. Because you want to look like you're sunken in. So, I'm going to start with the black. Go in there and just sink it in like that. this could also be like a Jane the Killer thing. And there's a creepypasta called Jane the Killer. She's like Jeff the Killer. So if you're going for that kind of vibe, this is definitely, you would want to use white grease paint, but this could definitely work for like a practice shot if you're working on just practicing your technique for it. This can definitely work. And then go all the way down your socket to about there. So right where your eye socket ends and your cheekbone starts, that's about where you want it to stop. And then start smudging it out to really soften up those end lines. I mean, that right there could be vampire or zombie. So I'm actually going to go in with my black eyeshadow. This one. It's Makeup Revolution's Reloaded Vitality palette. So I'm just going to go in with it and use the black now as my contour. Because I already did it a little bit, I'm not going to need to like completely overdo it. But I do want to make myself a little more pale. And the black definitely gives that nice contrast that the brown doesn't. I mean, I'll probably still keep some of the brown, just not all of it. Go in there and touch up whatever you need to do in the touch-up zone. There we go. I'm starting to look a little more creepy now. So if you guys like my special effects makeup that I do, let me know and I can try to see if I can start doing it a little more often. Up until Halloween. Also, let me know what kinds of special effect makeup you would want to see. Right now, I'm still not really like super good at it, but I'm definitely practicing, so I might not do the best at all the times. But as long as you guys are patient with me, it will be okay. This is so against what I normally do for my makeup, though. Oh my gosh. It's horrifying. I mean, I am supposed to be doing like a... Obviously, like with wigs and stuff would also be something to consider in clothing. But I'm going to go in with a little bit of my there it is, my black gel liner pot and my matching brush for it. And I'm going to start filling in my eye area before I finish touching up my nose and stuff. And anyone who is terrified of their waterline, don't worry. Just practice. I actually had to learn how to put contacts in, and it scared me, so I did the same trick that I do for my waterline that I did for the eye drops and the contacts, which was to look the opposite direction of where you were putting it in. So slightly up and away. And it helped. The other great thing about this look, your eyeliner can be as messy as you want. If your eyeliner is messy, it's not going to matter because it'll help the makeup look a little spookier. Because it just adds another layer of black pigment to it. Which is great. So anyone who sucks at smoky eye doesn't have to worry about this. Because this makeup is one that literally anybody with any kind of waterline makeup problems can do. Because it won't matter if you're a little more freaked out by it. I'm going to go back in with my black eyeshadow and just kind of darken around the edges, but still keep it buffed out. And always feel free to go back in on your makeup and touch it up. Even if it means barely finishing one part and going back to that. That is totally okay. This is also really good for starting of a skeleton. So you could do this to do it like a Day of the Dead kind of style, or like a Coco movie styled makeup. Just trying to work in some more of that shading there. And it would look totally cool. So you have options with this one. This method isn't typical completely, because I'm not using grease paint like a lot of people tend to do to get the paleness. You can still do a lot with it. Okay. I have to go back in and touch up my nose now. I'm going in with a nude color. To kind of help me with my fallout issue. But it does remind me that I do need to fill in my smile line area. So I'm going to take this brush, it's just an e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to it's creepy. I haven't even finished it yet. Sometimes if you smile, it'll help you to figure out how deep your smile lines already are, and then you just build on that. Blend it out a bit. But first I'm going to go into the eyebrow area, and I'm going to use the black eyeliner gel to make my eyebrows a little more creepy and drawn on, because you're not really going to be able to see now that I've blended all the black makeup into my eyebrows. You're not really going to be able to see the black eyebrows, my natural eyebrows, very well, unless you're like super up close. So you can draw the eyebrow in. You can even draw it higher and weird if you'd like. I'm going to go back and soften all these lines up now, just to make sure everything is good before I do the next part. If you feel like you're a little too dark, you can take some white powder that you mixed with your pale foundation earlier, and you can use it to kind of blend your makeup a bit. Kind of graze it. It's almost a gray color now, which is fine. It's actually good. I want it to be kind of a lighter, because it's not supposed to be super duper obvious, but it's definitely supposed to be there. Just enough to creep someone out. Make someone very worried. Okay. I don't even do false lashes and stuff for this one, because you're not really going to be able to see them anyway, so I don't even bother with mascara. Now we're going to go into the creepy part. I'm going to clean this brush because I'm about to use it. Oh gosh, this is definitely... I'm having so much fun with this. There's actually an LA-based special effects makeup artist who followed my beauty Instagram, Andy_beauty930. And because of my bruise makeup I did earlier when I tagged it, and that was really cool. So, I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna first clean this off. And again, I would recommend using grease paint for the final look of this instead of just the pale foundation, but I'm not going to be able to use grease paint right now because, again, not doing this for longevity, just doing this for a demonstration. But I'm going to go ahead and grab some red food coloring. This is my yellow food coloring, and I'm not going to use that because it'll turn everything orange, but here's the red food coloring. I'm going to put it on here all by itself. And I'm going to start using this Ingold eyeliner brush. Dip it in You could use red grease paint if you'd like, but for this part, or red lipstick, but making it match the fake blood because it's what I use for my fake blood. Kind of makes it look like I've left a little blood on my lips. So I'm going to go in here. It also makes it easier for me to blend the fake blood together with it. Try not to let the brush strokes show too much though, because it just looks nicer to have it a little more uniform and smooth. But I'm not doing super thin lines like typical vampires. And then I'm actually going to do blood coming out of my eyes. Drag it down right over the smile line area. Almost like I was going for a Pennywise type of thing, but not actually. Maybe a little bit out of my nose. A little bit more in the eye area. Right next to the tear duct, so it looks like it's coming out of your tear ducts. So that's kind of how you go for the vampire. Oh no. I got fake blood all over my teeth. It's okay, it's just food coloring. It's literally just red food coloring, so it's okay. But yeah, and then as it dries, it starts darkening, which is kind of what real blood does too. So it looks more realistic than, say, a grease paint type of thing. But yeah, that is the finished touch. You could have left the red lines off, but I thought it looked kind of cool to have fake blood coming out of my eyes as a vampire because, well, come on. Vampires with fake blood in their eyes. Vampires with blood coming out of their eyes is always interesting. The other great thing about makeup, you've got the power to be creative in whatever way you want. That black eyeliner kind of helped though, the little bit that was left. Because look what happened. It's really cool. It's kind of what's happening to my face. So, I hope you guys enjoy the finished look. Again, this could be for a zombie or vampire or like a base for the Day of the Dead, maybe. If you're going for like a Coco kind of thing or Jack Skellington, you could do Jack Skellington with this kind of makeup. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean off my face and I'll see you guys later. probably in a couple of hours when I've found another special effects makeup to do Halloween wise. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.